Welcome everyone to episode 4 of Talk Wrestling here on, well, whatever you're watching on, NoDQ.com, MySpace, YouTube. The views just keep on coming. I'm telling you, last week's show was a success from what I understand, from what Aaron's told me, and I appreciate that very much. I can't express enough the thanks I have for all of you fans out there that are watching this show and making it such a big success. We're out doing a lot of different shows on the internet, and to everybody out there that's doing less than me, haha. No, I'm kidding. Okay, totally kidding. We got a lot of questions from MySpace that I didn't get to last week, as well as some questions from my Yahoo email / NoDQ's email. So let's get to those right now. All right, this one's from Benjamin. I wanted to ask you what you think about the heel situation in WWE. I personally think that WWE is pushing too many monster-type heels, like the Great Khali, Snitsky, Viscera, etc. I don't think these guys are true wrestling talent. They don't bring much to the show. Heel talent like Randy Orton, Mr. Kennedy, or even upcoming talent like Elijah Burke should be given the main event heel roles. I agree. I love that question, and thank you for putting your input on there. That's awesome. Yes, Randy Orton should be over as a heel. Mr. Kennedy should be over as a heel. Elijah Burke should be over as a heel. Not the monster guy. The Great Khali is fucking useless. He needs to go away. Can't stand him. Who else? Viscera. Big Daddy V. Put your shirt back on, you fat bastard. Who else did he mention? Snitsky. Snitsky could be over if he was in ECW, but he's lost in the Raw Shuffle. If he was back in ECW, he'd be a great heel. He'd be a great heel champion, in my opinion. I really believe that. Snitsky's a great athlete. He just needs to be pushed as a champion and as a heel, not as a Raw mid-carder. All right, this one comes from Michael the Real Britalian. I guess he's half British, half Italian. I don't know. Will Randy Savage ever return to WWE or TNA and get a proper send-off in wrestling? I don't see that happening. He kind of burned his bridge with TNA after he walked out on them because of being an unsafe working environment due to Hogan being there. And I think there's too much hard feelings for whatever reason. I don't know the reason why he and Vince McMahon have hard feelings between one another, but I don't think he's going to ever come back to WWE and wrestle. Will he be in the Hall of Fame? More than likely. But will he ever come back to wrestle? No, not in this lifetime. Randy Savage is, he's got back problems. He's out indefinitely, if not for good. And he's not going to come back to wrestle for WWE anytime soon, and certainly not with TNA. All right, this one is from Ruby Rivera. Is Trish Stratus ever going to come back to Raw? If I had a way of contacting Trish Stratus anymore, I'd ask her for you. But since I don't, I'm going to assume no. Trish is happy doing her comedy show in Canada. Go to TrishStratus.com to find out more about that. I really don't know all the information on that. But I think she's happy doing what she is. She's happily married now. She's moving on with her life away from WWE. And I think she's going to be better off for it. I think the time away from the limelight will do her well. I think she wants to have a family. I think she wants to have kids. And I don't think that wrestling is in her future. This one is from Makika. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Let me know how to pronounce it the next time I do a show. I'll be happy to do it for you. Do you think if the WWE needs to hire new talent so they get their ratings up? No. They need to push the talent they have properly so they get their ratings up. They have a tremendous, talent pool working for WWE as well as their minor league territories, Ohio Valley and Florida Championship Wrestling. But they're not using the guys properly at all, or the girls for that matter. I think that if they started using people properly, they'd get better ratings and they'd have more fans watching. But right now, their product is stale because they're using the same people over and over again. How many times can we see John Cena retain the championship? How many times are we going to see that? How many times are we going to see MVP come out and do his little shuffle at the beginning of each show? How many times are we going to see, Caden Murdoch try to be sportsmen when in reality they're cheating? How many times are we going to see the Great Khali go before the fans shit on him, which they already have? Their product is stale. They need to bring in new talent, not necessarily talent they haven't hired yet, but bring guys up from Ohio, bring guys up from Florida, bring guys, up that are on Heat mainly and bring them to Raw. It's sad they have so much talent, they're not being used at all. They don't need to hire anybody else, just use the talent you've got. All right, this one's from ESSWH at AOL.com. Who do you think will or should beat Umaga for the Intercontinental Championship? That's a really good one. I like William Regal beating Umaga for the Intercontinental title. I think Jeff Hardy's a good candidate. I think, who else? Who else is on Raw? Santino Marella again. Carlito. Who else? Let's look at the names I have on here. Shawn Michaels is a good champion, maybe. King Booker, or Booker T, whatever you want to call him. Mr. Kennedy, Randy Orton, There's a lot of guys on Raw that could fill that spot for Umaga. I think any one of them would be a great Intercontinental Champion. This one's from Big Sal. We had a question from him last week. Thank you again for your question, Big Sal. Do you think Steve Austin will ever come back as a full-time wrestler for the WWE? No, I don't. Steve Austin's career was over back in 2003. He had one good match left in him, and that was against The Rock to get The Rock over at WrestleMania 19. But Austin's career was over. I hate to say it, but it's true. He's nowhere. He's in good shape. I mean, he proved that by doing The Condemned. But he's not in wrestling shape. There's a difference between being in good shape and being in wrestling shape. Austin's body is not in wrestling shape anymore. His neck is still bothering him. His knees still bother him. And he's not. I don't think he'll ever come back as a full-time wrestler. Will he make a one-time only appearance as a wrestler? Maybe. But he won't come back full-time at all. I hate to say it, but that's the truth. All right, this one is from Zach. I watched WWE and TNA, and it seems to me that TNA delivers more in a match than the WWE. Do you think TNA is an upcoming threat to WWE? I mentioned this earlier. I think TNA is going to be a big threat to WWE in the weeks and months to come. I think that if they get a 2-hour time slot, they'll be a huge threat. I think with the talent pool they have, they can be a threat. I think with their the way they're doing storylines right now is surpassing WWE, just my personal opinion, except for the Joe Angle thing, which is kind of stale. But other than that, they're doing pretty good. I think that TNA does deliver more in an actual match than WWE. I think their wrestling is overall better. I think they give the matches more time more often than not than WWE does. I think that TNA does deliver better in match. Thank you for the question, Zach. Yes. This one's from Joey the Squigs. I answered one of his questions last week as well. Joey, thank you very much. I was a TNA fan for a very long time, but recently the booking storyline angles have sent me back to WWE. Am I the only one who sees similarities between WCW in the year 2000 and TNA? Now let's see. Jeff Jarrett is still a huge name. David Pencer's doing their announcing. Mike Tenay's doing their commentary. I see some similarities as well. And they're taping out of one area, which WCW was doing for a while when they were doing the MGM tapings, the Disney tapings, if you will. But TNA has their own products. TNA has their own stars. TNA is pushing their own stars. They're not really pushing Jarrett because Jarrett has a family issue they're dealing with right now. Yes, they have the same ring announcer. Yes, they have the same commentator. But TNA is their own entity. As far as, if you want to talk about storylines being used, how about when Edge was feuding with Kane and he kept seeing Kane in various places? Hogan and Warrior from about 98. That was very WCW-like. WWE's copying WCW if anything else. I think TNA's being able to stand on their own. I think TNA is going to be a definite threat to WWE in the near future, and hopefully it'll be the very, very near future. This is from Kim Mendez. What do you think of Christy Hemme leaving WWE for TNA and portraying a heel? I don't like Christy Hemme as a heel. I think she's a much better, like a bubbly babyface. I think her as a heel isn't working for her. I think this whole thing with the Bashams and Lance Hoyt is going to kind of fizzle out kind of fast for her. I think that they're pushing VKM away from the Bashams. You notice that VKM is kind of interjecting themselves in the feud with the Steiners and Team 3D. So I don't think that the Bashams and Christy and Lance Hoyt are going to be a threat anymore. And I think Christy is better off as a bubbly babyface, just my opinion. This one is from the Death Poet. Do you think Rey Mysterio made a good champion with his run as World Heavyweight Champion? And do you think he could do it again? He was champion from WrestleMania until the Great American Bash last year. And it was a 3-month reign, 4-month reign, whatever it was. I don't think he made the best world champion. I think he was too much of an underdog. I think it was the same story every time. Can he overcome the odds? Can he overcome the odds? Much like with Cena now, where Cena's always overcoming the obstacles and never seems to be the favorite going in. The champion should always be the favorite going in. That's the role of a champion. He should be the favorite going into a match, not the underdog. Rey Mysterio will always be an underdog. He's 5'3", he's 175 pounds. The guy is an underdog. He always will be. And I don't think he'll make a good world champion again. I think it's a mistake if they push him as anything but a cruiserweight champion. All right, this one comes from Troy. Do you think the ratings will fall when or if The Undertaker retires? I don't think Undertaker's going to be an impact on the ratings anymore. I think Undertaker is going to have his last run when he does come back. I think he'll lead up into WrestleMania. He'll retire and defeat the WrestleMania. He'll have his last match at WrestleMania 24, and that'll be it for him. I think he's going to finally hang it up. Unfortunately, I think Undertaker won't be an impact on the ratings whatsoever. This one is from I'm Going to Rock Out with My Cock Out. That's his screen name. Don't complain to me. Find him on MySpace and complain to him for his sad little name. If Vince passed away, how well do you think Shane, Stephanie, and Linda would cope running the WWE? Do you think the wrestling business would stop for a few days? I think they've proven in the face of adversity that the wrestling business wouldn't stop if there's a death in the McMahon family. I think they would keep on going. We've seen the recent tragedy with Chris Benoit and how WWE just did one tribute show and then they kept going. Yes, it was because of the circumstances regarding the Benoit death, but look what happened to Eddie Guerrero. They did 1 week worth of tribute shows. They did a Raw and a SmackDown in honor of Eddie Guerrero, and then that was it. They moved on. I think if Vince passed away, they would definitely be able to keep going because they have a great team in place. Stephanie's the head of creative. They've got a great writing team in place. They've got a great booking team in place. They're set. Vince can successfully step away from the company now and not be a part of the company, and the WWE will do just fine. So I think if Vince passed away, it'd be very hard for the McMahon family on a personal level, but on a business level, they do just fine. Next one comes from Mike J. Do you think WWE benefit from using some of the old WCW concepts like the 3-tier cage or War Games? I know Vince is against anything that's not his idea, but WCW had some good ones. To my knowledge, War Games is the property of WWE because of the Jim Crockett Promotions tie-in. So I think that War Games would be a good suggestion. I think that the 3-tier cage was a one-time only shot. Thank God. That cage was a joke. I think that the 3-tier cage had its time in the movie Ready to Rumble. I think it was good at Slamboree for a one-time only appearance. I don't think it's going to be a full-time thing. WCW's concepts are being used by WWE right now. There are camera angles. There are people that work for them used to work for WCW. Like guys like Dusty Rhodes, Arn Anderson, Dean Malenko. Those guys all worked for WCW then, WWE now. I think that they are using their concepts very well. This is from Bry the Space Cowboy. Why can't WWE keep a stable going for more than a month nowadays? I miss groups like DX, The Ministry, and, well, even the Right to Censor. I got excited when they did the whole New Breed thing, and they killed that early. When multiple stables work now in the WWE, no. WWE guys are much better off on their own, it seems to me. Yes, a couple of stables here and there, like the New Breed, like Caden Murdoch, and it's more tag teams than it is stables that will work very well. I think that the tag team division needs to be repushed. I think the tag team division can succeed if they are pushed properly. But stables like the New Breed, like DX, like the Ministry, like the Corporation, like the Union. Stables like that are a thing of the past. I think tag teams, if they're going to have anybody team up, it's going to be just a two-man team, and that's going to be the way to go. All right, this one's from I Love My Son Sky. Do you think Shannon Moore is an underrated wrestler, seeing as how he was trained by the Hardys and whatnot? He should be up there at least with them. Shannon Moore is a great talent. Shannon Moore is very underutilized, very underrated. He can do some amazing aerial tactics. If you saw him in TNA or if you saw him in WWE when he was the number one MFer under Matt Hardy, he's a great wrestler. I think that if they used him properly, he could be a great cruiserweight champion. But the cruiserweight division itself is sucky right now. It's absolutely terrible. So I don't think he's going to get used properly anytime soon, unfortunately, for the fans. This one comes from Shadow X. With Kurt Angle walking around with both titles, do you think we will be seeing Brock Lesnar in TNA TV anytime soon, asking for a rematch for his title back? And whatever happened with Brock and Sable, by the way? Are they still together? Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar in TNA, that's a very good possibility, but let me clear it up again. It's not the IWGP Championship, it's the IGF Championship. I think Brock Lesnar in TNA would be a good thing, but TNA can't afford Brock Lesnar right now. They can't even afford Hulk Hogan right now. I don't think they can afford Brock Lesnar. And, hey, director, are Brock and Sable still together? They are? They're not together anymore. Okay. They're not together anymore. So there's your answer on that. Go to Wikipedia's Brock Lesnar page or Rena Merrill's page. You can find out more about that because I don't have the answer to that. The first time you stumped me, so good job. I don't know if they're together. As far as I know, they're not, but I could be wrong. You never know. Once again, thank you all very much for your questions. Sorry if I didn't get to your question this time. I'll try to get to it next time. In the meantime, send me more questions to my inbox, not to my comment board. My comment board's getting deleted right now as we speak. It's going to be deleted probably last week. I even deleted it because I deleted a lot of questions. So please feel free to send them to my inbox at myspace.com/Jeff Meacham, jdmeach1@yahoo.com, Aaron's inbox on MySpace, post on the blog on this show, and we will see you on episode number 5 of Talk Wrestling. Bye-bye for now.